So do you also wish to extract the details from your loan agreements and add them into your spreadsheet automatically? Then this video is definitely for you. So hello all, welcome back to Pabbly Connect, and in this video we are going to understand how to transform loan agreements into structured data with an AI agent. So like you, I also used to manually extract the details from all the loan agreements received. But this is such a time consuming and an error prone task. So to solve this problem, I've simply created this amazing automation where what is going to happen is that as soon as I add the loan agreements into my Google Drive account, automatically my AI agent is going to extract the details from that loan agreement and add them into my spreadsheet. So to do this, we are simply going to create a connection between Google Drive, my AI agent, which is OpenAI, and Google Sheets. And to create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So if you also want to create this amazing automation for your own business, then for that you have to come with me towards my screen.
Welcome to my screen. So in this video, I'll show you how to transform loan agreements into structured data using an AI agent. So by combining tools like OpenAI, Google Sheets, this automation reads the complex legal documents and pull out the key information like the borrower name, interest rates, and the payment details and add them straight into Google Sheets. Perfect for finance teams or legal departments. So let's dive in and make your document processing more smarter. So to do this, we are simply going to open a new tab and we're going to look for the landing page of Pabbly Connect simply by searching pabbly.com/connect in my browser. And now it is opening the landing page of Pabbly Connect, and over here you're going to get two options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you are a new user, you can click on this sign up for free and you are going to get 100 of stars free every month to explore the application. But over here I am an existing user, so I'm simply going to click on this button which says sign in. And once we're going to click on this sign in, it is opening all Pabbly apps, and over here you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in today's video, we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications. So I'm simply going to click on this access now right over here to access my Pabbly Connect account. And once we're going to click on this access, now it is opening my dashboard. And after opening this dashboard, to start with the automation, we simply have to click on this blue button which says create workflow, and now it is asking me for the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So over here I have created multiple folders, you can see on my dashboard. So I'm just going to save my workflow in one of these folders only. And over here, if you want to learn how to create a folder, you can simply go towards this create new folder button and create your own. I've created multiple, so I'm just going to save my workflow in this folder which says automations. And now I'm just going to name my workflow as this: transform loan agreements into structured data with an AI agent. And then we are simply going to click on this button which says create. And once we're going to click on this create, it is opening the most important window of our automation, which is our workflow window. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger and actions are the two main principles on which our workflow is going to run. Trigger means when this happens and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the actions are response towards the commands given by our trigger, and that's the particular reason that we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of our trigger in a particular workflow. And to get started, we are simply going to select our trigger application. So for my trigger application, I'm simply going to select it as Google Drive. So I'm just going to search for Google Drive and select it right over here. And now it is asking me for the trigger event. So I'm just going to select my trigger event as new file in a specific folder. And now we are simply going to click on this blue button which says connect. And now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your Google Drive account with your Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can simply click on this select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection. And now we have to click on this blue button which says sign in with Google. And once we're going to click on this blue button, Pabbly is asking me to select my Gmail account, with the help of which I'm just going to connect my Google Drive. So I'm simply going to select my Gmail account right over here, with the help of which I'm just going to connect my Google Drive. And now Pabbly is asking me for some permission. So what we're going to do is I'm simply going to click on this allow allow and give Pabbly all the permissions it is asking for, because my data is secure with Pabbly. And once we're going to click on this allow, with this we have successfully connected our Google Drive account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now it is asking me to select the folder. So here you can see the name of my folder is loan agreements. So I'm just going to select the same right over here, which is loan agreements. So I'm just going to open this folder list right from here and select my folder, which is loan agreements. So as you can see that I've simply selected my folder. So I've selected this folder because this is a shareable one. So what do I mean by shareable one? So you have to go towards your folder name, then you have to go towards this share, and once again towards this share. And over here for the permission of this folder, you have to keep it as anyone with the link and editor. It is really important that you keep the permissions as anyone with the link and editor, because if this will not be set as anyone with the link and editor, then the AI agent will not be able to read your documents. So as you can see that I've simply made this folder a shareable one. And now we're going to move on further. You have to select the same folder, which is a shareable one, right over here. And now we can move on further and click on this save and send test request. But before clicking on this save and send test request, I'll just let you know that Google Drive is a pooling based application. So pooling based application means that this application will not check for new data instantly. It is going to take some amount of time to check for the new data. And over here in the case of Google Drive, it is saying the trigger will check for new data in 10 minutes. Alright, so once we're going to click on this save and send test request, Pabbly is going to capture the last response or the latest response made in my Google Drive account. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to open my Google Drive, and over here I'm just going to do the test submission. For that, I'm simply going to upload this loan agreement right over here. And once we're going to upload this loan agreement, with this we have successfully did the test submission. And now I'm just going to capture the details of the same loan agreement right over here in my workflow. For that, I'm simply going to click on this save and send test request. And as you can see that Pabbly has captured the response of the same loan agreement only. You can see the same name, and also you're going to get the link of the same. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our trigger step. And now whenever I add a new file in this specific folder, which is loan agreements, automatically my workflow is going to get triggered within 10 minutes. So over here, if you want to reduce or increase this trigger time, you can go towards this three dots and then set trigger time. And from here you can reduce or increase your trigger time. I'm just going to keep it as 10 minutes only and move on further. Now what I want is I want to use an AI agent to extract the details from this loan agreement. For that, I'm just going to select my action application as OpenAI. So I'm just going to search for OpenAI right over here, and as you can see the same, so we are simply going to select it. And now for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as extract content from PDF or image, and then we are simply going to click on this button which says connect. And now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your OpenAI account with a Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can simply click on this select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me once again, click on add a new connection, and now it is asking me for the token. And to get this token, we are simply going to follow the help text, and it is saying kindly visit your OpenAI API key page to get the API key that you need to enter here. So I'm simply going to go towards my OpenAI API key page to get the API key which I need to enter. And after opening this OpenAI API key page, we have to create an API key. For that, I'm just going to click on this create secret key button, and now it is asking me for the key name. So let's say I'm just going to keep the key name as loan right over here. And now for the project, I'm just going to select the default project and click on this create secret key button. And now my key has been created, so I'm simply going to copy this key and then we're going to paste it right over here in our workflow. And after pasting this key, we are simply going to click on this button which says save. And with this, we have successfully connected our OpenAI account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now it is asking me to select the OpenAI model, so I'm simply going to select my OpenAI model as GPT-4o mini. You can select any another of your choice. And now it is asking me for the PDF URL, with the help of which I'm just going to extract the details. So I'm simply going to enter this PDF URL right over here, but we are not going to enter it manually or by copy pasting it, but instead we're going to map it. So you must be wondering what is mapping. So mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected Google Drive as our trigger application. So we are simply going to map the details from the response of our trigger application only. And as soon as we're going to map these details, automatically my details will turn dynamic and change with every new response received. So I'm simply going to map this web content link right over here. You have to keep in mind that you only and only have to map this web content link. Now we're going to move on further. It is asking me for the prompt, so I'm simply going to enter my prompt right over here. So I'm just going to extract the details with the help of structured output. So I'm just going to give a basic prompt which is I want to extract the details from the given PDF. And after entering this, we're going to move on further. It is asking me to enter the structured output. Alright, so I'm just going to enter my structured output right over here. And you must be wondering how we're going to generate this JSON schema without knowing a line of programming or coding language. So for that, we simply have to follow this important note. So it is saying to generate the structured output JSON, navigate to this website. So I'm simply going to go towards this URL given right over here. And once we going to open this URL, automatically my AI agent is only going to generate me the structured output. For that, I'm simply going to click on this generate button right over here. And now it is saying describe how do you want the model to respond, and we'll generate a JSON schema. Alright, so I'm just going to enter the prompt right over here to generate the JSON schema. And in order to enter this prompt, I'm just going to open my notepad. And over here in the notepad, we are going to enter all the details which I want to extract. So the first detail which I want to extract is borrower name. Alright, so I'm just going to open my notepad. And over here, I'm just going to enter borrower name. So I'm just going to enter borrower name, which is the first detail I want to extract. So I'm just going to enter it right over here. And after entering this borrower name in the next line, we have to enter how I want the format of this. So this is type of a short text. So I'm just going to enter type of a short text right over here. And now we're going to move on towards the new line. And over here, we have to give the description. So I'm just going to enter the description, which is extract and provide the full legal name of the borrower as stated in the document. So as you can see, I've simply entered this for borrower name. And now we're going to move on forward and enter it for lender name and for all the another details one by one. And as you can see with this, we have successfully entered for all of these details one by one. And now we have successfully completed this prompt. So I'm simply going to copy this prompt, and then we are simply going to paste this prompt right over here. And after pasting this prompt, I'm simply going to click on this button which says create. And now my AI agent is going to create me the JSON schema without me knowing any programming or coding language. So as you can see, the JSON schema has been generated. So I'm just going to simply copy this JSON schema and paste it right over here in my workflow. And after pasting this, we're going to move on forward and click on this blue button which says save and send test request. And once we're going to click on this save and send test request, automatically my AI agent is going to extract all the details from this PDF and give it right over here as a response. And then further, we're going to add that details into our Google Sheets. Alright, so we're going to wait for a few seconds till my AI agent is extracting the details and giving me the details right over here. And as you can see that my AI agent has successfully extracted the details and given me the details right over here. So you can see the purpose of the loan. Over here, you can see the interest rate, you can see the duration, and also you can see the loan amount. You can see the lender's name and the borrower's name too. So yes, with this, we have successfully completed this step, and now we are just going to add all of these details right over here in our spreadsheet. So to do this, I'm simply going to add another action step, and now for the action application, I'm simply going to select it as my Google Sheets. And after selecting the action application for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as add new row and click on this connect. Now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your Google Sheets account with your Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can simply click on this select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and now we have to click on this blue button which says sign in with Google. And once we're going to click on this sign in with Google, Pabbly is asking me to select my Gmail account, with the help of which I'm just going to connect my Google Sheets. So I'm simply going to select my Gmail account right over here. And once we're going to select the Gmail account, Pabbly is asking me for some permissions. So I'm simply going to click on this allow and give Pabbly all the permissions it is asking for, because my data is secure with Pabbly. And once we're going to give Pabbly all the permissions, with this we have successfully connected our Google Sheets account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now it is asking me to select the spreadsheet. So over here, I'm simply going to select my spreadsheet, which is loan agreements. So I'm simply going to select my spreadsheet right over here, and then we are simply going to select the sheet 2, which is sheet 1. And now we're going to move on further and enter all of these details. So once again, we're not going to enter these details manually, but instead we're going to map it. Alright, so we're going to start with the borrower's name. I'm simply going to map the borrower's name. Then we're going to map the lender's name. We're going to move on forward. I'm just going to map the loan amount. We're going to move on forward. I'm just going to map the duration right over here. Next, I'm just going to map the interest rate, and at last, I'm just going to map the purpose right over here. And after mapping all of these details, we are simply going to click on this blue button which says save and send test request. And once we're going to click on the save and send test request, it is saying that we have successfully added these details into our Google Sheets. So I'm just going to open my Google Sheets, and as you can see that these details have been added right over here, that too without any manual intervention. So yes, with this, we have successfully completed our workflow. And now what is going to happen is that whenever I add my loan agreements into this Google Drive account, within 10 minutes, this workflow is going to get triggered. Pabbly is going to capture the response for the same, extract the content from that same loan agreement, and add the details right over here in my spreadsheet. So all of this is going to happen in backend. We don't have to come back in again to our workflow to click on save and send test request. So now go try this amazing automation for your own business too. And while trying, if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. See you in the next video with many more automation tips every everyone. Thank you for watching.
So not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can connect many more applications. So now if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this URL. So now go try this amazing automation for your own business, because right now we are offering a free trial of Pabbly Connect.